Hi, and welcome to week 5. This video explains the activities for week 5. I am in the individual activities folder for your individual work. And the first activity is a social emotional learning activity. And you're going to be looking at the socially emotional cultural anchor competencies framework. I have added the framework here. You also have seen it before in Blackboard, but if you download this, you will actually see the framework that this video explains. Now I need to share that this video was from a conference that I am attending year-long. Believe it or not, it's a virtual conference. I spent 3 days last summer. I'm spending 3 mornings during the year working with these experts, and then I spend 2 more days in next summer to complete this conference. So it's a year long. But this video explains the rings for the competencies framework. And so if you watch the video and take a look at the document, you look at the framework yourself, and then what you're going to do is click on the Padlet and you're going to add some information. The competencies are all set up there, and you're going to pick at least 5. It should say it's 7 competencies. I made a typo there, I see, but there are 7 competencies, and you're going to click on 5 of them and add some information that you might have learned from the video or that you see on the framework itself, and you're going to post those on the Padlet. You're going to read chapters 7 and 8 this week. Those chapters are dealing with topics about teaching with informational, persuasive, and narrative text. The next activity is looking at literal, inferential, and critical comprehension. So you're going to discuss literal, inferential, and critical comprehension, and you're going to explain how those levels of comprehension can be supported in the social studies classroom. You're going to use evidence from the textbook and any sources that you have researched. So maybe you have found some articles, or if you Google literal, inferential, and critical comprehension in a social studies classroom, you may find some more information. If you post any articles, I will give you extra credit because I'm always willing to give you some support in extra work that you might do in this class. But the activity is that you're going to explain how inferential and critical comprehension and literal comprehension can be supported in the social studies classroom. The last independent activity you have this week is to take a look at some websites for biographies. And biographies are talked a lot about in the textbook. So you're going to click on this document here. You're going to download this document, and there I think are 5 websites. You're going to pick one of those and respond to the questions that are below those websites. You can pick whichever one you want. If you know of another website that deals with biographies, by all means use that one. You don't have to use the 5 I've selected, but you're more than welcome to pick one of the ones I have and to write about that. And those are the activities you're going to complete individually. And before you complete those, I would actually go and complete the group work. And I'm going to click on the group work. So you're going to create an annotated bibliography in your group work this week. So you know in the textbook, they have talked about some genres: historical fiction, folk tales, fantasy, and poetry. If you've taken children's literature, you know about those genres. They are genres that much of the children's literature fall within, and especially if we're working in a social studies classroom, we would be looking at historical fiction, folk tales, fantasy, and poetry. So you're going to look at those 4 genres, and each member will select one of those 4. Make sure you've each picked one that the other member has not picked. And then you're going to locate 5 books from that genre to use as social studies resources. 2 groups have 5 members. So if you notice, there are only 4 genres here. So one member, whoever it might be, and if you're the first one, you can have the option to choose any of the genres, Or you can do a combination of the genres and locate 5 books from any of those genres. So you might have in your group somebody who loves poetry, and you have 2 people who love poetry. 2 people could do poetry if you have 5 people in your group. If you have 4 people, of course, each of you will take one of those genres, and you will locate 5 children's books within that genre. And then you're going to, as a group, combine those into one annotated bibliography. However way you want to do that. If you want to use a Web 2.0 tool, if you want to use a Google Doc, however you want to do it. But in that annotated bibliography, you must reference it using APA style 7th edition. That's the beginning. You need to include an image of the cover of the book. You need to share what genre it's in, and you need to write a brief synopsis of the book. If you want to add a website, if you want to add other images for some reason you have to make your annotated bibliography a little bit more visually appealing, guess what? I'm going to give you extra credit because that's not what's stated here, but I'm encouraging it, and I will give you extra credit because you've gone above and beyond my expectations. Just as we would with kids, if they come in and they do a lot of extra work just for their sake and for them to learn more, I say go for it and give them what's due to them, and that's I don't want to say a reward because I don't like to reward people necessarily, but to acknowledge the fact that you see that they've done extra work for what you've asked them to do. So that is the group work this week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to share with you. By now, you've turned in your annual pacing schedule, and you did an amazing job with those. I'm so impressed with what I saw. Thank you for the hard work you put into that. Week 4, you've turned in your twin text assignment. And I have not graded those yet, of course, because I'm currently in week 4, and I'm sharing what we're going to do for week 5. But in week 6 is your cultural learning experience. And you do need to take a look at that ahead of time because you do need to plan that out. Now, my recommendation to you is that you have that experience virtually. You look for cultural websites, you study a culture, and you write about that culture. Make sure you follow what you're expected to put into your reflection from your experience. And that is in the folder for cultural learning experiences. And I think there are exemplars as well. In fact, I will take you to that now. If you're still following me in this video, you'll see where I'm headed. So I'm going to click out. Again, you do see more here because I am the instructor, but I'm going to go to major assignments, and I'm going to scroll down to cultural learning experience. Here's the drop box. Here's all the information you need for the assignment. And this explains what you need to write in your assignment. You also need to make sure that you have identified and analyzed the significance that human beings attach to the differences. You need this bullet point describe and analyze the effects of possible prejudice, exclusion, subordination, and ideologies of racial superiority that have an effect on these groups and individuals, and demonstrate and understand that diversity is a key for the flourishing of community, social environment, and economic, and how a lack of diversity can compromise future generations. So please read through those, include those 3 bullets when you do create your cultural learning experience, and you'll be well on your way to completing that assignment. It looks like that's it for this week. I will see you, I think it's week 6 in class, so it's not yet, it's the following week, but I'll send you more information about that. Otherwise, I'll see you online. Have a great week.